Hello everybody, I am recording this video to help you prepare for the upcoming quiz and to give you more practice with writing phrase structure rules from existing sentences. And I know that the format of this course doesn't quite allow a lot of practice during the class, so I hope you will find this video helpful. So we're going to write the phrase structure rules for the following four sentences. Carrie slept. So this is an intransitive verb. It doesn't take a complement at all. There is no objects or anything. Carrie slept. She believed it. So in this case, believe is a transitive verb. There is one direct object. We ate dinner at the restaurant. So we ate dinner. It's an intransitive verb, but here we have a prepositional object after that, a prepositional phrase. And number four, my good friend bought an interesting book yesterday, is actually syntactically quite a simple sentence. So let's start. Let's do the first one. Carrie slept. Now, when you write your phrase structure rules, whether it's on a quiz, the midterm or the final exam, we always start with sentence. It's a sentence, right? So Carrie slept, and each sentence consists of two parts. So try to remember what they are. Pause this video. What two parts does each sentence have to have? Well, it's NP-VP. That's what each clause actually needs to have. So Carrie slept. See how we broke down the S into two phrases. There is no single head of the sentence, right? Therefore, we have two phrases. We don't specify exactly what the head here is. Now we're going to break down each of these elements. So the NP now has just one noun. And this is where we stop. So we started with a phrase, and now we're going to indicate what the head is. And as soon as you get rid of the P, that's where we stop. See how there was a P here, a noun phrase? There we go. And now we just ended up with just the lexical class. So the head of that phrase is a noun, and that is also the only word of that phrase. And the VP here is equally simple. Well, it's just a verb, just a verb. So Carrie slept. That is the PSR for this specific sentence. So far, so good, right? Very easy. Moving on to the next sentence. She believed it. So what I would like you to do, I would like you to pause this video and try to write down these PSRs and then unpause it and see what the answer is. So she believed it. The first thing that we're starting with is always NP and VP. That's what every sentence is. That's what every sentence has or has to have. The NP here just has one word, and it's a pronoun. Pronouns replace nouns, so a pronoun can be the head of a noun phrase. Believed it. So now we're stuck with believed it. So let's figure out what's there. Now each phrase must have a head. So in this phrase, the head is the noun, is the verb. Believed it. It's a verb phrase. And then there can't be two heads, right? So there has to be one head. So then we have a noun phrase. In this case, we're going to break it down into its individual components. It's just one word. So we're going to say that it's a pronoun. See how we have two phrases and we just want to make sure that they're different. We're going to give them numbers, number one, and this is number two, just so that we know that this is one and NP1, this is NP2. So that is your answer. She believed it. That is what I will expect from you on a quiz. Well, number three, we ate dinner at the restaurant. This is a little bit longer, not necessarily more complicated. So the first line is going to be NP, VP. The NP is the subject. So each sentence or clause must have subject, and the rest is called predicate. And that predicate must have a verb. Well, NP, what does it have? It just consists of one word. It's just a pronoun. We. Then let's break down the verb phrase into its individual components, and the verb phrase is going to have quite a lot of words. It's going to have the head, the verb, right? And then some phrases. So what did we eat? We ate dinner. So it's a noun phrase because it could be more than one word. It could be expensive dinner. And then at the restaurant is a constituent. It's a prepositional phrase. How do we know that those are constituents? Well, we can move at the restaurant together, right? So it was at the restaurant where we ate dinner, or that we ate dinner, or where did you eat? At the restaurant, and so on. So we have verb phrase that has the verb ate, and then this is dinner, and this is at the restaurant. Well, as long as we have the P in the name, we have to break it down until we get rid of the phrases of the P. We have to go down to the word class level. So when we have these P's, right, we are at the phrase level. But then when we don't have them, we are now at the lexical category level, at the word level. So, ate dinner at the restaurant. Well, let's take care of that NP. Just to make a distinction between the two NPs, because we have two, we're going to give them numbers. You will see at the end that we'll have more than two NPs in this sentence. So this noun phrase just consists of one noun, dinner. That's it. And the only thing that is left is the prepositional phrase. The head of the prepositional phrase is, what do you think? It's a preposition. And then we have a noun phrase. So it's going to be noun phrase number 3. So NP3 has two elements, determiner and a noun. Determiner is the head. The noun is the head, and determiner can't form its own phrase. It simply always goes into the noun phrase. So we ate dinner at the restaurant. That is your solution. That is the correct answer. And now the final fourth sentence. My good friend bought an interesting book yesterday. This is a little bit trickier, but you'll see it's very similar to the previous ones. As always, we start with sentence equals NPVP. The NP just has one word. In this case, is my good friend. So what we have there is a determiner, my, then we have an adjective phrase, and then we have the noun. So see how here it says phrase. So the phrase must have a head. The head of this phrase is the noun, friend. So my friend. But we also have an adjective friend, an adjective here, good, an adjective phrase. Why do we have to write the P here and not just like that? Not just leave it like that. We can't leave it like that because an adjective has to be ahead of a phrase, because we know that adjectives form adjective phrases. Remember, there are 5 types of phrases: noun phrases, verb phrases, prepositional phrases, adjective phrases, and adverbial phrases. So an adjective has to be ahead of an adjective phrase. So we're going to put it on the next line and write that this phrase has one word, an adjective. And we're going to give it the number 1. So now we're done with the first part, you see? So this is the NP1. These 2 lines, they go inside NP1. Now let's break down the VP, the verb phrase. And the verb phrase here is bought an interesting book yesterday. So the verb phrase must have a head. Bought. What did he buy? Or she? What did she buy? An interesting book. And then there's an adverbial phrase. There is an adverbial phrase. So because we had the first NP already, let's break down the second noun phrase. An interesting book. Determiner, adjective phrase, noun. Noun is the head of NP2, and the adjective phrase only has one adjective. So let's just call it the previous one adjective phrase 1, and this adjective phrase 2, just to show that they are separate. So now we're done with an interesting book, and we have an adverbial phrase is the only one, so we're not going to give it a number. So this adverbial phrase has one adverb. My good friend bought an interesting book yesterday. Let's go back and check it. The noun phrase, my good friend, consists of determiner my, good friend. This is a phrase, it just has one adjective. VP is bought an interesting book yesterday. This is bought an interesting book, and this is yesterday. So why do we have to write adjective phrase? Well, because we know that they are adjective phrases, so an adjective must be ahead of an adjective phrase. So ideally, this is what I would like you to do. In our textbook, they say that it would be acceptable to do something like this: an adjective phrase, then we don't need to specify, and that is an adjective phrase. And I think they are also allowing these things. So if we go with the system that is described in our book, it would just look like this. Very easy, right? So determiner, adjective, my good friend, bought an interesting book yesterday. This is not wrong. This is certainly right, and it is correct. It would be accepted by different professors. However, I want you guys to know what phrases are. I want you to show me that you know what these phrases are, and that an adjective has to be ahead of an adjective phrase, an adverb has to be the head of adverbial phrases. I want you to show that to me, so I do want you to break things down up until you get to the lexical category level. I hope you find this video useful, and I hope it will help you prepare for the quiz tomorrow. So you guys have a good night. Thank you for watching.